Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Strategize Your Business Online. My name is Dee Boswell-Buck, and I am your host. I'm also the founder of Boswell-Buck. I'm also the founder of Boswell-Buck Creative Consulting. And what we do is we help you to connect to your dream clients in the online space, of course, with strategy. So, welcome again to Strategize Your Business Online. And this is the live for entrepreneurs like yourself who are looking for a dose of business inspo and inspiration to reach more of your ideal clients in the online space. On today's episode of Strategize Your Business Online, the subject that we are going to be talking about is your big vision to reach your future customers. So, first of all, what I would love to do is I would love to welcome you and thank you so much for watching. And if you can do this for me, I would be forever grateful. I would love if you could put in the chat your name. So, what is your name? The name of your business, who it is that you help, and please, by all means, let us know where we can find you on social media. And if you like, you can even share your website. And if you are watching this a little bit later and you are watching the replay, then please do the exact same thing again. Your name, the name of your business, where we can find you on social media, and by all means, what is it that you do? How is it that you help your dream clients? And by all means, share your website as well. My name is Dee, and I don't have a guest today. I don't always have a guest, but we will be back next week with a guest. Today it's me, and I would like to speak about something that is very near and dear to my heart. And I am a business owner, and yes, I am always online. And this is an important topic for me to speak about because everyone tends to see what I want them to see online. So, of course, when you see my stuff on social media, you see those pictures, you see that confident person, I hope. You see my professional photos. And I like to also share things that are going on behind the scenes. I love to run. I like to, say funny jokes. However, when it comes to running a business, I totally understand that being a business owner is not for the faint of heart. And it's my goal that when we are doing things in our business, that we are working with strategy. And I know some people might say, okay, I'm not too sure how to be strategic in certain areas of my business. But when I talk about having a strategy, I just mean that whatever it is that you do with your business, or not your business, but whatever you do with your company, your business, it should be aligned with the goals of your business. So at least do that. And then when it comes to, reaching those future customers, the title of the show is Your Big Vision to Reach Your Future Customers. And what is your big vision to reach your future customers? Often we do have goals as business owners, and I know the goals could be I want to make $1 million. I want to be a 10-figure business owner. I want to be a 6-figure business owner. I want to launch my business. Well, what are some of those goals that you have? I would love if you could share that in the comments. I'm going to share some example. So for instance, I spoke about it already. It could be about hitting a specific revenue. And I say specific. Okay, so you don't have to put that revenue in the comments, but if you want to put in the comments that, Dee, I would like to earn more revenue, I hope that in a notebook or on a whiteboard in your home office or anywhere that you have it written down that you would like to make 20% more, 10% more, 30% more. And if you like, you can even do that calculation. Like, what is that 30% that you want to do, so that when it's written down, you know exactly what it is that you are working towards. Another thing is that you might say to yourself, okay, in order to hit the specific revenue, I really want to sell what brings me joy, what keeps me in my zone of genius. Perhaps you're in a place of your business. If you are an established business owner, then you are not offering everything. So think back, if and this could be very true for anybody who's just starting a business. Perhaps you're at that stage where it's like when somebody approaches you, you say, I can do everything. And then you get to a certain point of your business where you say to yourself, you know what? I want to have joy in my business. And that means I only want to sell these certain items in my business. That could be a specific product, that could be different services in your business. So you know that if you want to hit that specific revenue, you need to have so many clients in order to sell this amount of items in order for you to get to that revenue goal. And then another thing that you might want to do is that perhaps you want to grow your email list. And growing your email list, that is very important because believe it or not, sometimes these social media platforms, they go down for a period of time. It's very unfortunate, but perhaps sometimes an account can be hacked. I think about a few friends who their business accounts have been hacked and then they had to start all over again. And in some cases, it was like, thank goodness they were on another social media platform. And that is another reason why you want to think about having an email list. Because when you have an email list that you are growing, then you have the ability to get in front of your target audience in a quiet space. So I send a newsletter out every single Monday morning at 10:02 a.m. and I send it out and it lands in the inbox of those who are on my list. And when they open up that email, they are looking at my email. They're looking at my newsletter and they don't have that window open for a particular social media platform. And when they are opening up your email, or when somebody does get on your email list, it's because they wanted to get on it. So I would hope that at this time, or something that you might want to think about, is that when you are growing your email list, you want to make sure that it's people who are most likely to enjoy what it is that you're sending out. And I don't mean that it has to be like, oh, hello, I'm dropping in your inbox. It's all about me right now. However, perhaps they are interested in working with you in the future. The future could be next week. The future could be in a couple of years. Well, you sending out a newsletter with helpful tips as an example, and then a call to action for them to reach out. Well, that is you nurturing that relationship with that future client. And when you do offer to ask, or when you ask somebody to be on your email list, and I'm saying this right now because I remember when I started my business, I would ask every single business owner to be on my email list, and not everyone needed me. And it was about a numbers game. So when you are growing your list, think about who are the right people to be on your list. That way you do have a better open rate. And also, when you are sending out your content and you're sending out helpful tips, it is going out to people who are most likely to share that newsletter and also reach out to you. Now, other goals that you could have for your business, it could be that you want to book more speaking opportunities. Yes, getting on social media can lead to big speaking opportunities, small speaking opportunities, believe it or not. And then there could be other goals that you have, such as perhaps you are launching a course. It was a couple of years ago, I launched a LinkedIn course, and I used social media, not just LinkedIn as social media, but I use other social media platforms as well. And I was able to fill that course. So when you are using social media to reach more of those future clients, so you can hit that certain revenue. At the end of the day, a lot of things get right back to that specific revenue that you want to grow. Well, using social media will allow you to reach more people. There are so many other goals out there. So again, let us know in the chats, like your name, what it is that you do, who it is that you share. And I would love to know some of the goals that you have for your business. Now, my question is that you have all of these goals, but how do you envision getting to those goals? How is it that you envision reaching those future customers? It's one thing to have the goals, and it's one thing to feel really hyped up about having these goals. However, it can happen very quickly if you are not making the small steps to get to the goals. You can make big steps, by the way. But I really think that it's a matter of staying in action. So you can have the goals, but you have to envision, how is it that I am going to get to the goal? And then when you envision how you are going to get to the goal, you got to do the stuff. Now, looked up the I looked up the word vision, and here I came up with a certain amount of things here. So vision is the act or power of imagination. Vision is the ability to think about or plan the future with imagination or wisdom. So I like some of those keywords in there. I really like that last one, actually. The ability to think about or plan the future with imagination or wisdom. So you can have this vision to get to the goal, but you got to plan. And it's planning with wisdom. And I hope I don't scare you off, because yes, you've got to use wisdom, and you might not have that knowledge on how to get there. So stay tuned. I'm going to be covering some of that stuff. Now, first of all, I just want to say hi to my business bestie, or one of my business besties. Hi, Gabrielle. Gabrielle, nice to see you. If you're still on, please leave your email address and let us know what it is that you do, because you do some amazing things. I do follow her on Instagram, but if you are seeing her on LinkedIn right now, follow her and also check out her Instagram account. But I'm going to leave it to her to share what it is that she does. Now, back to the vision and to reach your future customers. Now, in order to reach the majority of your business goals, you'll have to attract new clients. Then let that soak in. New clients. It's great that you have clients right now, and it's awesome that you have people who are referring to you. However, you also want to stay in that flow of continuously attracting new clients. Now, I'm so blessed that I have referrals, and it's great that a lot of businesses, they rely on that. I think as small business owners, I think that you have to look into other areas outside of leaning in on the referrals, because things can happen. Going to share a little true story. Let's go back to 2020, the pandemic, and everything shut down. And what had happened was that at that time, I had about 10 clients, and then the world shut down, and people just didn't know what to do. And I had quite a few people, 8 to be exact, out of the 10 saying, I'm going to pause what it is that I'm doing, Dee. I will circle back. None of them circled back. If I was waiting for referrals, well, because everybody was frozen, they didn't know what to do. The world was in a state of fear. We were in a state of panic. I was even like, oh my goodness, what am I going to do? So if you are typically relying on referrals, Well, the referrals that come in from the regular individuals who send the referrals to you. And if they are in a state of panic, if something has happened and they are not sending you any referrals, well, then that will affect your income. So, what is it that I did? Well, I just continued to put myself out there on social media. My thing was that I am going to continue to show up so that when things start rolling again and that people go back to those social media platforms to look for those experts in, areas where they need help, well, they are going to see my social media accounts and they are going to see that I have things going on. And I took that time to review what my revenue goals were. I could either keep on going or I can move to that other mindset now and say, you know what? These are the things that I love to work with. These are the type of business owners that I would love to work with. And this was a great time for me to start restructuring what it is that I was putting out there and having a more tighter message. So, of course, I'm talking about social media, and today that is the focus that we are going to be talking about. So, I want to say that a little bit later, towards the end of this live, I will be sharing with you a test that you can do for to make sure that your message is very clear. Now, I'm gonna go into here this part now. If you are 100% cool with where your business is right now, and right now you have a steady stream of new leads, then please stay, even though this live might not be for you. However, if you're an entrepreneur and you're an entrepreneur and you have a business and it doesn't fit that description that I just shared, which means that you're 100% cool with where your business is right now and you've got that steady stream of new leads, then you want to stay. And if that describes you, then if you haven't introduced yourself yet, I would love for you to put in the chat that emoji. I like to call it the uncomfortable emoji. So it's that emoji and it has that awkward smile, that smile that's like all teeth, but it looks like very, very awkward. If that is you, then you are definitely in the right place. Now, if you are going to have this big vision to reach your customers, then what you want to do is you will have to start to do things differently. You cannot do what it is that you're doing right now. And that's basically in any aspect that, in any areas where you want change for your business, if you want change for your life, if you want change, perhaps you're like, I want to start working out more. Well, you need to do things differently. That means you're going to start small by doing some research. How is it that you like? What are some of the things that you think you'll enjoy? What types of workouts can you do because you have a bad knee? Well, you have a bad knee, but you want to work out more. So that means that you're going to do a bit of research, which is an action. And then you will start by doing something like, and I'm not a medical practitioner, but you might do something where it's like you are going out for a walk and then you are walking more, you're walking even more quickly. And then you get to a point where you are running. But when it comes to doing things differently, when it comes to having growth, a growth mindset, when it comes to earning those higher revenues for your business, whatever it is that you're doing right now, you have to do things differently. And when it comes to social media, the first thing that I would say is that you want to align your presence with what you're putting out there on social media. So that means that when you are on social media, it's not just about showing up. You have to think to yourself, well, if I am going to share this post on social media, how is it that it connects to one of my top 3 goals that's happening in the next 3 months? As an example, when you come to my social media feed, you are very clear about the top 3 things that I am selling in terms of a service because I repeat it. I repeat it in different ways. I repeat it as a post. I repeat it as a video. I repeat it as a reel. I'll talk about it in my stories on Instagram. I might share an article on LinkedIn. I will do a live on LinkedIn. So I speak about the same things because these are the 3 things that I really enjoy doing in my business. And I think it is the zone of genius of my team. And we get a lot of joy helping our clients with this. So here are some really simple examples of aligning your presence with what you're putting out there on social media. And when you are aligning your presence, it's not just coming up and saying, this is what I sell, but what it is that you want to do is not only share what it is that you do, what it is that you sell. Well, you also want to add some other aspects to your content that you're sharing. And that is about, sharing about what not to do. So I help clients connect with their target audience in the online space. If you notice, I already spoke about what not to do. You don't want to just show up. And, that kind of content is really great to hear. People need to know, like, for example, if you are a photographer, then you tell people why doing a selfie for their LinkedIn profile is not necessarily the best way to go and why it's better to go with a professional photographer. Now, I want to give a shout out to my friend Sheldon Isaac and find him on LinkedIn and on Instagram as well. But he speaks quite often about the benefits of having great video, the benefits of having great images, and also, what happens when you take shortcuts. So follow him, and he shares a lot of information that talks about why it is that going the easy route is not always the best. It does put a dent to your credibility, and that is a message that we really need to hear. Now, here's another example. I have a friend and she does eyelashes. So she puts on the faux eyelashes and she does a beautiful job at doing that. And my suggestion to her was not only share what it is that you do, but also share some behind the scenes of your clinic. Show how clean it is. You don't even have to be in the picture. It could be a picture of your clinic and everything is all neat and tidy. And that could be something that goes up in your stories on Facebook or on Instagram. And in that picture, it says getting ready for the day. Well, right now, sharing something like that, it shows your audience that, ooh, if I go there to get my eyelashes done, whew, it is a very clean place. Another thing that I spoke to her about was that call out what's wrong in the industry. So there are individuals who are out there who say that they can do your lashes, but they are not always certified. And unfortunately, there are some examples where people have gotten eye infections. Things have gotten very, very serious. And what I've told her to do is to share those stories. And, it could be sharing an article on LinkedIn about what is wrong in the industry. And that doing something like that allows your audience to know that you make sure you are one to make sure that everything is on the up and up. And also you are educating your audience as well. Your audience, they like to do business with those that they know, like, and trust. And by sharing what's wrong with the industry and how it is that you do things differently, that brings more people to you. Another thing is that perhaps you're a business coach and don't just put it out there that you're a business coach, but what you can do is you can talk about what it is that you do. Like what is your framework? How is it that you take people through this process? And also, like, what are some of the struggles that confidentially some of your clients might be going through? Or perhaps you might have some clients who are like, oh my gosh, please, by all means, you can share my name. And then, that way people may go over to see the proof out there. That's the social proof. Again, when you are sharing some of those struggles as a business coach, well then you are calling out like some of the things that people are going through, and also you are sharing with your future clients why is it that they don't have to lean into the myths. Some of those myths as business owners could be that we have to stay up and we have to be up all hours of the night. We have to go through, parent guilt, caregiver guilt, mom guilt, because, we're not able to establish boundaries in our business because we always have to be available for our clients. Those are myths. And sharing things like that, well, that lets your audience know who are going through that struggle that this is something that they do not need to go through. Now, these examples that I gave, and when I tell you to show up for your business and speak about what it is that you do, how it is that you do things differently, and sharing like what is wrong with the industry or sharing some of those challenges that your target audience goes through, do this repeatedly. And like I said, there are different ways that you can do this. You can share it as a reel, you can share it as a video, you can share it as a social media post, you can share it as a blog on LinkedIn, you can share it as a YouTube video, but you can use social media to share that message in different ways. And the reason why that you want to do that is that not only do people need to hear about this over and over again about what it is that you do, but they will be drawn to you. And they're going to be drawn to you because you are answering the questions before they even had the question. You're probably wondering what it is that I mean. So I think about, one of the steps that we do is in our framework when we're onboarding our clients for, our full service social media management, is that we do an analysis of where they are right now in terms of like what it is that they're doing in the online space. And we ask, who is that person who needs you? So I've heard things, for instance, I help people who are, they're experiencing limiting beliefs. I help people who are, maybe they're high achievers. Well, okay, sometimes those, they call it jargon, right? Sometimes those sentences are things that we as the business owner, we understand that. However, your audience, when you put out there, I help you if you have limiting beliefs. Well, this is where my team and I were like, whoa, stop the presses, okay? We're not just going to, is it stop the press or stop the presses? But we're not just going to read on that intake form that you help people with limiting beliefs. We circle back and we ask you, what is a limiting belief? Or what is it that somebody is feeling when they are experiencing a limiting belief? And this is where we ask for more. And that could be that they wake up and they're like, oh my goodness, I haven't reached this goal and I just cannot do it. I cannot do something due to the lack of time. I cannot get this done because of this. I cannot get this done because I do not have the tools. Those are things that are examples of a limiting belief. And this is where we get our clients to really break it down. What does a limiting belief look like? So any types of jargon that you use, we ask you to break that down. And then what we do is when we create your social media, we put that out we put that out as content, and we write that in content in a way where it's like you are speaking to your audience. So when your audience is reading that post, they're going to say, oh my goodness, wow, that person, she really gets me. I'm going to reach out. Or, I am feeling stuck. And I didn't quite know what stuck was, but she explained that in that social media post. I'm going to follow her because I think I'd love to work with her a little bit later. Now, so this is why you want to do things repeatedly. And also, when you do things repeatedly and when you are actually sharing more about what it is that you do, and when I talked about like explaining more about what it is that you do, well, then naturally what happens is that you start to use really great keywords. And these keywords are things that people are looking out for. That could be, your target audience. They've got this problem. They're looking up this specific keyword, and now you come up in the feed. Now, I worked with a retailer for 26 years, and the doctor who delivered my daughter, she did not know that I left my job. Well, what happened? She decided she wanted to grow and grow more of her client base. And she went on LinkedIn looking for somebody who can do websites and do social media. And what happened when she put in those keywords? Yes, she used the search bar and she put in the keywords. And my picture came up on the right hand side on her laptop. So this is what happens when you use the right keywords. You can come up. And what happened was that she reached out to me. I'm smiling about it right now. She reached out to me and I thought she just wanted to catch up. We went for lunch and she's like, I need to go on social media. I hate social media. I want to stay in my zone of genius and do what it is that I want to do, but I need somebody to get me started. And that's what we did. My team and I, we created a website for her. And while we were creating that website, while we were building it over a period of weeks, we started this doctor up on her Instagram account, which, by the way, years later, she loves social media. And feel free to jump into my DMs, wherever you're watching this. I'm happy to share her Instagram account, but she manages her account, I think, pretty much on her own. But she just needed to get started. She had that limiting belief that she hated social media, and some people still do hate it, but she just needed to get started. Now, why you want to do this repeatedly again is that, again, you want to make sure that people are very clear about what it is that you do. Years ago, when I first started my business, I had somebody reach out to me and they said that they were looking for 10,000 followers. I had quite a few requests like that. Is that something that I could do? Well, yes, my company, we have helped a couple of businesses get to 10,000 followers, but I don't put that out there. My goal is to get you in front of the right customers who are going to be your cheerleaders. Where I want to get you in front of the right customers who are going to reach out to you. You can be follower rich, but you could be pocket poor if people are not reaching out to you to book. Another thing is that what you can do is change your mindset. Now, I know I'm a small business owner. I help small businesses, but I walk into my day in that big business mindset. How am I going to explain this? Think about a major retailer, and you might be on an email list of several retailers. And if you're on that email list, you see that you get a numerous amount of newsletters. Now, I'm not saying that if you're a business owner, you need to send out a gazillion newsletters. However, the businesses, what they do when you get on their list, they send you about 2 to 3, maybe more, especially if it comes up to popular times of the year like Black Friday. And they unapologetically jump into your inbox and they send you a message, right? Or perhaps they're opening up a new location. Even though they have 400 stores already, they still put a sign out on the road and they notify people in that area that they are opening up. So big businesses, they unapologetically put themselves out there. And as a business owner, you have to unapologetically put yourself out there. So right now, if you are showing up on social media only once per week or only twice per week, that's not enough. 3 times a week is okay, but showing up in other, like maybe up to 5 times a week, so 3 to 5 times a week is great. And then based on the platforms that you're on, you want to make sure that you're leveraging. So for instance, LinkedIn, maybe you're showing up 3 times, and that's okay. Well, LinkedIn is a networking site. Have you actually taken the time to reach out to others on the platform to grow your network? So think of yourself as a big business owner. Don't be afraid. And yeah, don't be afraid to make those big business owner moves, because those big businesses, that is what they are doing. Really quick example, I'm thinking of a specific news channel. I'm in Ontario, Canada, and on this news channel, there is a guy who shares a commercial, and he only shares these commercials in the morning. And basically, he says that he'll give you money for your gold, gold, gold. I would sing it, but I don't know if I would get in trouble. And so if you are located in Ontario, you know who I'm talking about. Now, he shares his commercials at a specific time of the day. Watch, you won't see him in the evening unless his marketing plan has changed. He shares his commercials in the specific time of the day, and he comes up every single time that channel goes to commercial. And basically, he's your cash man, and he'll give you money for your gold, gold, gold. And you might say, oh my goodness, now I've got this tune in my head and I can't get it out of my head. Well, that is because he is memorable. Why? Because he unapologetically shows up. And one more thing that I want to talk about having this big vision is that if you can't do it yourself, get help. Now, you might not be able to do the thing to get to that big vision because you don't have enough time. That's usually the number one thing why we're not able to get things done. You don't have enough time. You don't have enough time to learn how to do the thing. It is not your zone of genius. If it's not your zone of genius, you need time to learn it. And if it's not your zone of genius, then you're not going to make it a priority. So do not be afraid to think different and call in the troops. And this is a struggle that many entrepreneurs have. It's funny, not funny, haha, but it's funny that as business owners, we will easily try to learn to do everything in our business, but anything outside of our business, we make a phone call. For instance, we have an annual furnace check at our home. We have the furnace expert come in. The furnace person, they check our furnace. They make sure that it can be turned on. They advise us of the filters to use. We don't go downstairs to the basement and do the furnace check because that could be dangerous, right? Things can happen. It's not our zone of genius. Or I think about the time when our washing machine broke down. Well, okay, we did try to fix it a little bit, but we didn't spend too much time on that because clothes needed to be washed. So we called an expert in to fix our washing machine. It didn't get fixed, but we did call an expert in, and we eventually had to get something new. But the thing is that it was not our zone of genius. So when it's not our business, I don't know what it is. And hey, you know what? I go through it too sometimes, where it's like, I'm going to try to work on this problem on my own. But as a business owner, call in the troops and get some help. And, if you are a former 9 to 5er, then you remember that when you got your paycheck, it came in a cute little envelope. And now that you're a business owner, my goodness, where did all of this paper come from? All of these files that I have to look at. I have to reconcile pie charts. Well, it's not the zone of genius. A zone of genius is what we wanted to go into business for, unless you are an accountant. And, call in an accountant, call in a bookkeeper to help you with that stuff. If it's your marketing, call in a digital marketing strategist, or go on to Fiverr, or call a virtual assistant. But get some help, because you want to do what it is that you love to do. And in order to have that growth mindset, you cannot do it on your own. And when you ask for help, then just be accepting of the help that you are getting. So when you are accepting help, or when you have hired somebody, know that you've reached out to that individual. And while you do have a say, you do have a say in what happens with your business. For instance, if somebody hires us as being the marketing experts for their business, they have a final say in terms of like that content that goes out there. But we are using that strategy to help them show up a specific amount of times. So, if you are hiring that accountant, you cannot all of a sudden have an accountant hat and, direct that accountant as to how it is that they should fill out an Excel spreadsheet. When you hire an accountant, you 1000% have to make sure that you know what's happening with your numbers. However, you know, meet with your accountant every so often. Maybe that's weekly when you're getting started. Maybe that's monthly. That's going over your books, making sure that you sent your receipts. But that is the expert, and you have to rely on that expert to help you. Basketball players, they still have a coach, right? They make millions of dollars, but they still have a coach that is leading them. So whoever it is that you do hire, it could be, a business coach, it could be an accountant, perhaps maybe it's even a mentor, somebody that you can speak to get some advice. Then, don't be afraid to take that advice and try to implement that. So those are some examples that I have, and there are so many more, but I would say that those are the top ones in terms of, having that big vision to reach your future customers. You have to have that growth mindset, and you want to be able to let go. You want to show up differently because who it is that you're showing up in front of right now on social media. If your phone is not ringing off the hook, it might not be the right audience that you are connected to, or perhaps your message was not clear because you are not showing up enough. Now, for that big test that I mentioned that I was going to share at the end, here is something that you can do to see if your message is clear. If you are on Instagram, if you are on Facebook, if you are on LinkedIn, and you can do this on any other platforms, but these are a few that come to mind, take a look at the last 6 pieces of social media content that you put out. And take a look at it and let me know if you think it was very clear to your audience about what it is that you do. And if you think it is clear, go and ask a friend. As an example, last year, I'm always sharing on social media. I am showing up consistently. And I had some friends take a look at my Instagram account. They looked at the 9 tiles and they're like, ooh, the branding is really great. You got some funny reels, great pictures, but I'm not sure that you do digital marketing. I was mortified because here I am putting this stuff out. So if people can't get that quick visual when they are scrolling your last 6 pieces of content on Facebook, or scrolling your last 6 pieces of content on LinkedIn, or whatever other platforms that you're on, or perhaps, visually on Instagram, people are not sure about, it's not clear in your visuals what it is that you do, then your message is not clear. And this is another big reason why you are not able to get to that future goal as quickly as you would like to do. So though that's my great big tip. It's an easy thing to take a look at. Take a look at your last 6 or 9 social media posts and ask a friend, and not to read the caption, but is it clear about what it is that I do? And that is why some people are not reaching out. So my name is Dee Boswell-Buck. Thank you so much for watching. If you feel that you need a social media strategy, if you want to stop throwing pasta at the wall, then I invite you to reach out. I help established business owners connect with their dream clients in the online space using strategy. We like to say that we magically get you to land in the feed of your clients, your future clients. It's not magic, it is strategy. It's the use of, thinking about what are your goals, aligning them with, how it is that you feel about, the type of content that we're putting out there that represent you and your brand. It's using keywords, not too sure if I said that already, but we will align that and help you to show up consistently. You can jump into my DMs and talk about booking a call, or you can visit my website at Dee Boswell-Buck. So deeboswellbuck.com, and go to the contact page and fill out the really quick form, and then you will be able to book a call with me at the best time that is suited for you. Thank you so much for tuning in to Strategize Your Business Online, where we give you a dose of business inspo to reach your ideal clients in the online space. I will most definitely be back next week, Wednesday at 1 p.m. Until then, thank you very much. Have yourself a wonderful week. Be safe and get those visions and reach those goals.